Next is we have financial functions. So this is actually a list of functions that you could see either in your financial calculator, but it's also useful in computing, let's say, mortgages and your payments. So let's go through these functions. So we have first FV. FV is actually the future value. So we specify the rate and this many payments, like how many payments of each payment. So how much is each payment and your static value. So for this one over here, what we're having is we're trying to compute the interest, and we deposited like $1,000 and we placed it for 2 years. So FV, or the future value of the formula, can do it for you. So what we're specifying over here is first one is the rate, that's 10%. Next is B2, like how many payments or what's the duration. So we're saying here is 2 years, so which is why we're passing 2 over here. Next one is each payment, and we're not depositing each year, so that's 0. And your starting capital, which is $1,000. So for FV, actually the value needs to be negative for the output to become positive. So we're passing the values over here, and it will give you 1,210. So it's like it's telling you that you have earned $210 in interest, and it has compounded it for you. So let's try it out. FV, give it the rate, the number of periods, like how many times, number of years, so that's 2. There's no yearly payment, so that's 0. And then followed by the starting capital, or the present value. So let's place it here, and it gives you 1 to 10. So it's pretty cool because you can just try it out, play with the numbers. Like, what if I place it for 10 years? And you would get the amount instantaneously. Next is NPV. NPV tells you, it stands for net present value. So NPV, place the rate, let's say the interest rate, and a list of payments. So the list of payments would tell you that I'm making payments like 100 on year 1, and then 100 on year 2, and then 100 on year 3. And given the interest rate of 10%, what is the total value at this point this time, or more like today? Because of course, $100 in the future would be worth less as compared to $100 we have right now, because of the time value of money. So, and we say $100, like we're paying it over 3 years, it doesn't mean that it's $300. If you convert it to the net present value, then it will give you a smaller amount. Okay? So what we simply pass over here is the rate, and then we're passing in a list or a range of values. So NPV, give it a rate, and then you could pass it this way. Instead of a range, we're passing it, and gives you $248, which means that this payments in the future would be worth $248 right now, given an interest rate of 10%. Okay, next is PMT. PMT is actually useful for calculating the payments that you're making, like on your mortgage. This is pretty useful. So what we're specifying is at this rate, the rate, how many payments, and for this much amount. Just to give you an example, we have this one. Let's say we have a mortgage of like the rate of 10%. You're spreading it over 30 years. And then you have a loan of $1 million. So what it does is we pass in the rate, how many payments, like how many years in this case, and then what is the loan amount or the capital that you're loaning. So it's telling you that each year you need to pay and then the number of years, and the capital. Okay, so it gives you like 106,000 for each year. And the good thing with this one is you can play around with the numbers. Let's say I don't want a longer loan, I want to pay it like 10 years, and it will automatically give you need to pay 162,000 per year to pay this off. And the good thing with this one is, let's say, just to give you an idea of the amount of interest you're paying, you could just type in this one and then multiply, since we're paying for 30 years, multiply by 30. This is the amount you're paying over the course of the loan as a total amount. And it's surprising, like the big difference that from your starting capital, which is $1 million. So it's just something to think about. You could use this one to like give you a preview of how much you're paying. PPMT. So this is like related to PMT formula from a while ago. So we're specifying the rate, and then this on this payment, out of this payment, many payments for this specific amount. So just to show you an example, is we're using like the same parameters, 10% for your interest rate. You're paying 30 years for the mortgage, and you're loaning like $1 million. So what you're seeing over here is you're specifying the rate, and then this one is actually which period of payment are you interested to have Excel compute for you. So what Excel would give for you is the amount that goes to paying the principal, because there's two amounts. One amount is for paying the interest, and another one is going towards the principal, which is the $1 million you want to pay off. So what we're saying here is compute the amount of principal that I'm paying on year number 1. Next is, this is the number of years, or like how many payments, and that's 30, and followed by the starting loan amount, which is the capital, which is $1 million. So what it's saying is we're only paying $6,000 towards the principal, which is kind of surprising, because if you look over here a while ago, it's saying that we need to pay $106,000 for each year, and on the first year you're only paying $6,000 out of the $106,000. So if we try it out over here, so that's PPMT rate, and then we want to get the first year, number of periods, and the capital or starting value, and it gives you 6,000. So you could just change the value. Let's say I want the second year, how much am I paying towards the principal, and it's starting to go up, because as you go through the years, more and more cash is paid towards the principal and less is paid towards the interest. So by year 30, actually most of the amount that you're paying is already going towards the principal. Okay?